France, I'm joined by my colleague, it's Oliver Whitfield-Miocic, who's joining us. Oliver, hello to you. Looking fairly peaceful where you are, but the sun is still up. I imagine there could be problems this evening.
Yes, so it is very peaceful where we are, although only 10 minutes ago this was absolutely rammed with 3,000 yellow vest protesters, and then all of a sudden en masse they've gone to a new location. This has been one of the biggest problems for the police to contain. This highly mobile nature of the movement means that they're constantly shifting from different parts of the city. Now, a few miles away on the Champs-Élysées, that iconic street in the heart of Paris, it is a very different picture. Right now, tear gas is being fired at those protesters. There's been hundreds of arrests and at least 30 injuries.
So how is the government planning on dealing with this? Earlier today, Oliver, we were hearing about French teenagers being rounded up ahead of any potential conflict in the area. I imagine the French youth not very happy with this.
No, and there's been a complete shift change from the police in their approach to these protests. Last week and the week before, they weren't really in position in time for the protesters. They hadn't blocked off all of the streets leading in to key venues. This time it's a lot different. There are pat-downs as you come into places like the Bastille behind me to make sure that you don't have any offensive weapons on you. If you do, you're arrested and taken away. The police earlier on releasing some pictures of what was found in some vehicles, including hammers and metal balls to throw at the authorities.
Oliver, help me understand this though. A week ago, when we were covering this story, President Emmanuel Macron, the concern with him is that he did not want to drop the fuel tax hikes. It seems he's now done that. So what is the problem? The protesters have gotten what they want. What's now the issue?
Well, that was the original demand, that the fuel tax hike would be dropped. However, as this movement has grown, more and more people from different walks of life who are angry at the government for completely different reasons, be that low pensions, the high costs of living, what's happening with schools, the changes that are happening to hospitals and healthcare providers, have all got on board. And so now there are so many different demands that it's very difficult for the government to address them all at once.
So if you now look at the way, Oliver, that the government has handled this over the past few days, are you getting a sense of what their priority is? You just mentioned a number of societal problems. Are you getting a sense that Macron's government seems to be focusing on one more than the other issues?
Well, of course, they have now cancelled that fuel tax hike, so that has been one thing, but as you said, it's just not enough for the protesters. Some of the key things that we're hearing on the street is that people just want to have more money at the end of the month. I was just speaking to a yellow vest protester who says his take-home pay is €1,750, but of that, he's only left with €250 at the end of, at the beginning of the month, once he's paid for his accommodation, once he's paid for food and all that sort of stuff. So people really want to raise in the minimum wage, and they want a lowering of the cost of living.
I'm seeing a Chandon driving past behind you this evening. Give us a sense around you. You've got a shot of what looks like a fairly peaceful traffic circle. Give us a sense of what security is looking like tonight. Are they going to react to what's going on, or are they anticipating more violence? Oliver, as a last question.
It is very, very reactive this time. The police have gone very mobile. They've got 12 armoured vehicles on the street. They've got small units that can zip around the city quite quickly. So earlier on, we saw the police drive through with their riot vans and almost clear everybody out. Then they're off to the next place. So it's a very, very reactive situation and very fluid, with all of the protesters moving to different parts of the capital.
Newsnight continuing to stay on top of the story. Oliver, thank you very much indeed. Back to the streets of Paris.